49er faithful. The San Francisco 49ers won, but honestly, what's next?
I'm a 49er. I bleed red and gold. I've been faithful since I was 2 years old. We about to score quick and count another ring. Being a 49er mean I'm a 49er.
49er faithful. It is I, Filmo Trev, coming to you live, and I have some very good news, and I as well have a special guest coming on at the 1:30 mark. So please stay tuned, locked in, and engaged. And I have some exciting things that I would like to get to. But before we get started, I really have quite a few things that I would like to adjust, say, feel, and let you guys know that things are going to be looking pretty good for the 49ers. I have a very good suspicion things are going to look very good for the 49ers moving forward. Yes, moving forward. And as we dive deeper into this team and the trajectory of where we started at, what we thought we were, and what's the actual reality of this team in the last two legs of this season. Now, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments right now, and we're going to fulfill all these questions today in this string. Yes, there's some big questions that needs to be filled in this string, and before we even really take it to the next level, matter of fact, we're never going to do that. We're going to just take it to the next level. Identity versus role, and that's the first real question that I want to really resolve in this live. Reality versus the role. Now, well, I shouldn't say reality. I should say identity. Identity versus role. What's your identity? Do you know? What's your role? Do you know? Now, I truly do believe that the 49ers felt that they were role people. And they were given the role, and they have a task, and they perform that task, and they perform that duty. Now, I think it's so much greater now. I really do. I think it's so much greater. I think it's so much bigger, and we have to stay locked in. The 49ers have to stay locked in. Hold on one second, Shaw. Invite guest. Copy. I got to make sure the guest that I have coming on later has all the information that they need. Dun, 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 dun. Hold on one second, y'all. And of course, he has a Android. Damn Android people. Let's see if I can do this real quick without messing anything up. Hold on one second, y'all. Got to make sure that everyone has all the stuff that they need. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold, please. Copy. Ruthless. There we go. All right, there we go. We got everything. We're good. We're golden. Everyone got all the information. Awesome. Now, let's get back into it. Identity versus role. What do we have with this? I truly do believe that the 49ers thought they had a identity issue in the beginning of the season. They didn't really know, but they thought they knew. Then, injuries. Boza goes down. Michael Williams goes down. Fred Warner goes down. Huff went down. All these different people went down, and the 49ers lost their identity. We brought in role players. These are individuals who knew they wasn't a part of the original identity of the team, but guess what? They knew they had a role. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to say loud and proudly that this 49er team has an identity again. Yes, the 49ers team that we love so much right now is back to having an identity. Now, with that being said, of having an identity, What does that look like? How does it feel? Where is it at in the marketplace of the landscape of the trajectory of finishing the season strong? That means going 2-0. And that might sound pretty easy to a lot of you out there, but going 2-0 against not just okay teams. These are teams that are battling for the playoffs. These are two quarterbacks that are very, very good this season, that it has the trajectory to be the second and third seed. This is a phenomenal schedule, and whoever said this schedule was easy for the 49ers truly didn't believe that this was going to be an injury-prone team. After injury, after injury, after injury, the 49ers and John Lynch, because we have to give credit to John Lynch, because John Lynch went out and got the defensive role players that knew their role. They're identity players now. They have an identity. They understand what's at stake. And that's all you can really ask for at this time, is to have a team that understands there's an identity. No more roles. We're not just role guys. We're not just filling a gap, but we have a chance to create legacy and have an identity that lasts throughout life. Are y'all excited? Because I am. I'm excited because this is going to be, this is everything. And I'm putting all my eggs in this basket for the 49ers to beat the Chicago Bears. I believe it's going to be a shootout, hands down. It's not going to be no fluff game. As long as it's not raining, because that's the only thing I can think it could possibly happen, is that there'll be rain. But outside of that right there, this 49ers team can do a shootout. That's without the first-round draft pick, Purdy Ricky. Well, now his new name is Ricky P because he's injury-prone. Okay? I liked how this offense looked without Ricky P. It showed that it does have an identity. Now, George Kittle being out, we could talk about that in a second, but that's not the bigger issue right now. That's not the bigger issue right now. The bigger issues right now is them healing up. Every single offensive lineman should be in an ice bath right now, preparing themselves, getting mentally prepared for this next game against the Chicago Bears. I need everyone at 100%. Everyone. Hold on, I'm reading the comments right now. Week 2 and week 3, honestly thought this season was lost. I did too. I thought this season was going to be lost. And if you would like to talk to me, please drop in the comments right now. And I'm going to try to answer all questions because I do have a very, very special guest on YouTube coming on at 1:30. So you got to stay locked in and got to stay engaged because it's about to be good. You guys are going to like this surprise guest. Have this very good surprise guest that I've talked to before, but I think he's going to have a lot to say, to give more opinions about what this team is. So stay locked in. Stay locked in, okay? But let's go on to some more. Carrying the responsibility. And this team officially has responsibility. Now, some of you might be saying, why does this team have responsibilities right now? Why? Because the number 1 seed is on the line. The number 1 seed. All we have to do is control what we do, and that's play 49er football. Now, can we do it? Absolutely. We can definitely do it. But how is it going to look? I like Tangents. I've been liking him the entire season. Tangents needs to get the ball more. He needs to. He has to. This team is phenomenal. But that real, in my opinion, icing on the cake is Tangents. He had a touchdown. We should have reviewed it. We didn't. That's okay. That's okay. We came back and got the touchdown. But I don't want the 49ers faithful out there to think that this team is what they saw last night. Not yet. Not yet. You got to remember, the Indianapolis Colts were wounded on defense. They had an 80-year-old quarterback at QB. These are facts. They didn't have their whole pieces together. But now we know the identity of this team, and they're carrying responsibilities. I'm very, very curious and intrigued to see how is this going to look moving forward. How is it going to look? Now, I don't like to call out players. Someone said, go Cowboys. Man, fuck your mom. Just kidding. But, yo, we don't like the Cowboys over here. But, yo, check this out. I'm going to say a couple of wide receivers on the 49ers. And I need you to give me a grade and opinion of what do you think, okay? Kendrick Bourne. I give Kendrick Bourne, honestly, a C+. He could easily be a B+. But his immaturity and his childlike behaviors and his non-consistency to sacrifice the immaturity makes him fall back into being an average wide receiver. Give me your thoughts on that right there. Give me your opinions on how do you feel about that. Now, the next wide receiver, Robinson. We're all the way deep to the end of the season. We still don't know how good is he. We don't know. We don't know because not because he's inconsistent, but for some reason, Kyle Shanahan only puts him in sometimes, not all the time. We don't know who he is yet. So my grade on Robinson has to be a C-. We don't know the improvement. We don't know if he's good. We don't know what's going on. But we know we would love to see more Robinson in that slot position. We know this. The next wide receiver. Now, this might be a controversial one. Moore. How do y'all feel about Moore? I got to be honest with y'all. Moore has done more every single game. And when we first got him, I was like, what was this? Why do we get him? If we're not going to use him as a gadget player, why do we have him? Boy, Moore has done more and has proven that he is a special teams phenom and deserves to play more on the wide receiver position. I have to give him a grade of a C+. Why is he a C+? Because we don't see enough of him at that slot position, and we're still not calling the right plays to really expose his specialty. Is he quick? No. But I think he's kind of fast. But that's Kyle needing to figure out a way to get him the ball more. No pun intended. Now, my next wide receiver. You might not like this one, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And you guys are going to hold this against me, but it's the truth. Ricky P. And when you grade Ricky P, do me a favor. Don't grade him just because of what you see on the field. Grade him on as many times as you've seen him on the field. I have to give Ricky P a D+. If you're not on the field, what are you? He's not prepared physically for the game of football. And so many 49er fans say, no, you're wrong. You're this, you're that. No, he's this. He can be this. He can be that. I don't care how good of a painter you are. If every time I need you to paint on the canvas, you have a cramp, your fingers can't brush as good. that drops your value. Because when I need you the most, you are not there. Am I wrong for my grade on Ricky P? Am I wrong? Let's move forward. Papa J, what's good, faithful? How you doing, brother? Now, the next 49er wide receiver, because we're going down the list. We're going down the list right now, okay? I got a special guest coming on in about 15 minutes, so stay locked in, y'all. Stay locked in. Jauan Jennings. I know. Jauan Jennings. Jauan Jennings has proven to me personally that he knows he's a wide receiver. When you call his name, he's there. He's big. He's slow. But he's a guaranteed catch. He's a guaranteed block. Jauan Jennings is by far our best wide receiver to date. He wanted to be paid Brandon Ayuk money. He wanted to be paid Deebo Samuel's money. He's watched how those two in particularly acted and got paid. The whole time he's thinking in his head, I'm better. Deebo had the nickname Deebo. Brandon Ayuk never got a nickname as a wide receiver for the 49ers. Jauan Jennings was called Third and Jauan for multiple years because he was a guaranteed catch. He was a guarantee. Drop in the comments. Let me know your grade on Jauan Jennings. Let me know. I have to know this right now. I have to know. Drop in the comments. Let me know what's your grade on Jauan, because my grade on Jauan is a solid B. A solid B wide receiver. He's good. He's not great. But when you call his name, he is there. Ready. Now, how did y'all think I graded? How did I grade Jauan? How did I grade the wide receivers as a whole? Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions. Let me know. Am I wrong for how I'm grading them? I feel like my grades for the wide receivers were accurate. They were accurate. There was no bias. So altogether, when you judge and rate this wide receiver unit for the San Francisco 49ers, because you got to judge them, you got to rate them. And my rating for them right now has to be a C-. The wide receiver core for the 49ers as a whole has to be a C-. Has to be. Give me your thoughts, subscribe, all the stuff. Let me know. I see a lot of 49er faithful are saying A+ for Jauan, A's. You know what I mean? Yes, sir, Third and Jauan. A fair grade for JJ. I try to be fair as possible. I really do. I try to be as fair as possible and make sure that I'm giving a real evaluation assessment of what I'm seeing. Because they want it. That's a given. They want it. They definitely want it. And I see how they can get it. I really do. Stay locked in, because in 10 minutes, y'all, 10 minutes, I do have a special guest. I cannot wait to come on here and talk. I cannot wait. I'm excited. I'm thrilled that he will be on here. Hold on one second, y'all. I tell you, everything. When you need stuff to go right, it never goes right. It never does. It is what it is. Bang Bang 9 again on TikTok. If this is your first time watching me on TikTok, please Follow me. Smash that button right now. Let me know you're paying attention and watching. Let me know. Now, just don't go texting when you're drunk. I agree. I absolutely agree. Now, we have 10 minutes before this special guest is coming on live. Okay, so when he comes on live, I need y'all to make sure y'all get rowdy and get ready to ask him hard, grueling questions. Don't hold back, okay? I want him to get some good questions, all right? Now, the next thing that we have to talk about, because these are the individuals that really don't get high accolades. Can we talk about the San Francisco offensive line and how they've matured since adding Spencer Buford to the left guard position? Spencer Buford should have never been, in my opinion, and that's my brother. Like, we follow each other. That's my dog, okay? That's my brother. But he should have never been a tackle in the NFL. He is a thoroughbred guard, and he's going to get paid a lot of money. He should be – listen, I know he wants the big money at the tackle position, and I don't want to hurt his money at the tackle position, but that man is a guard. If you don't believe me, look how Christian McCaffrey is running behind him. Recognize what you're seeing. He's learned from his mistakes from the Super Bowl. He's learned. He's learned a lot. And I think it's important that we give him an opportunity to show growth. And he is showing it this year. And to be quite honest with y'all, and this is my opinion, my assessment, I truly do believe if anyone could keep Trent Williams for one more year, it would be Spencer Buford. They're both from Texas. And one of the closest relationships you can have on offensive line is your guard and your tackle. That communication needs to be in sync. So I think the 49er faithful need to be a little more nicer to Spencer Buford, because that's the man that holds the golden ticket, my brothers and sisters. That is the man that holds the golden ticket to Trent Williams staying. That's my journalistic investigation of finding that information out. They're both from Texas. They both love Texas. Take it for what you want, y'all. Take it for what you want. Okay? Take it for what you want. Now, in about 8 minutes, I got a special guest that's going to be joining. Okay? I got a special guest that's going to be joining soon, and I'm looking forward to putting him on at the 10:30 mark. And, well, I can't even say 10:30 mark. I mean the 1:30 mark, 1:30 p.m. mark. And we're going to have a good conversation. And matter of fact, hold on. I think he's on now. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to add him right now for everyone, okay? Everyone. Hold on 1 second.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Doing well, man. I was just telling you to set it on my laptop, bro. I only had to go on my phone.
Well, sorry about that. But, yo, check this out. Let me give you the proper introduction, okay? I've been working on my introductions, okay?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your listening and visual pleasures, I would like to introduce the one, the only, CG Ruthless, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. I tell you, once I get a couple more dollars, I'm going to be able to push some buttons and have that going, okay? But that's as good as I can get right now. That's as good as I can get right now.
Hey, I need to get you. I need you to get me a little bit of an intro from you, man. I like that, man. Better than nothing.
Thank you. So check this out. I had a question earlier, and it was one of the questions that I was brewing for me to ask you. Okay. Now, identity versus role. What do you think the San Francisco 49ers identity is right now after beating the Indianapolis Colts? Tell me.
Pretty much the offense scoring is like over 30 plus points. That's pretty much our identity. I mean, you think about, yeah, our defense may have flaws, but I think our most important identity is the offense, of course.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And I was grading our wide receivers as a whole. What is your grade that you give our wide receivers as a whole?
Well, the wide receivers are not flashy. They're not big names. They're more like B plus players.
Okay, I had them at a C. I had them at a C minus.
Yeah, their performance production would be C, but I would say they're like those B plus players. Like they're not flashy. They're not big time elite players, but they do the job.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. We're on the same page here of how we see the 49ers wide receivers, because my biggest thing is this. For the first time this entire season, the wide receivers in the offensive line, the running backs, our quarterback, our tight ends, were on the same nucleus of dominating, and this is what the offense should have been looking like the entire season. And this is also without Ricky P. Give me your thoughts on that. How this offense looks without our number one draft pick.
Well, it's kind of been pretty much the way with the next man up, like you get a lot of these B plus players, which we all call like the role players, that's what I usually call them. Like when you get somebody like Kendrick Bourne who just comes in, plays solid, you get somebody like DeMarcus Robinson to step in and play solid. So yeah, Ricky Pearsall is your A plus player, but he's not there. So you got to get somebody that can step in and play a significant role. But Jawan Jennings, man, you got to give this man his flowers, man. Consistent, like he had to step in and play a big role than usual,
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's done a phenomenal job at it. And in the beginning of the season, he was complaining because he wanted more money. But I think now we can honestly all agree that he's deserving of anything he's asking for right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's already leading the team in touchdowns right now, and he's been the most reliable target. I mean, even without Ricky P, we've still been able to get more creative. But I think with Ricky P, it makes us even scarier. So there's just two different ways how to describe it. Like it's been efficient. Offense has been the identity. Christian McCaffrey's been our entire offense, and then you have Kittle. Then you have other role players stepping in and play that big role.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, for me personally, I would love to see get more touches as a wide receiver. He's doing a phenomenal job right now balancing it with Robinson Jr. in the special teams, but having more as a more dynamic role player in this offense to really move the defense and with these motions, I think for some reason Kyle Shanahan's not doing that now. Do you think that might be something that he's waiting for the playoffs?
Probably, or maybe the season finale. Maybe we do that against Seattle to get them off guard a little bit. We'll see. But there's a lot of tricks on our sleeves right now. So, yeah, I think slowly we're going to get a little bit involved, more than usual. But I think he's done a really good job as a return man. So I think we'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, speaking of the offense, and we need to talk about this offensive line. One of my biggest, I think, peak moments for this offensive line when we realized that Spencer Buford needs to play the left guard position. And that's someone who's very close to me. That's a friend of mine. So we actually talk. And I don't want to hurt his money when I say this, but it's the truth. He should be playing offensive guard. He should not be a tackle or a swing tackle. Tell me your thoughts about having Spencer Buford at that left guard position.
Well, he's been very capable of playing, and yeah, he's a good friend of the show too, because I've interviewed him during the draft process. But I'll say his role at guard has been phenomenal. I think him playing next to Trent Williams is better because when he played the other side, he had his moments, but playing swing tackle, they were having him play swing tackle in the beginning, but his natural spot is maybe playing next to Trent, bro. I think it's just meant to be.
I can't agree with you more. Two Texas boys who connect very well, and they have a very unique bond. And I'm watching the game, and as it grows, I'm watching how Christian McCaffrey has a very nice trust on that left side right now.
Yeah, because you see that connection, but you see the commodity. You see that when you play around Trent Williams, it makes your job look easy. Like, what's happened with a lot of guys like Lincoln Tomlinson? What's happened with Aaron Banks? They don't have Trent Williams on that side no more.
Very true. Getting lit up.
No, but did you see what happened with Jordan Love, man?
Yeah.
Banks was getting beat.
Yeah. And it got beat bad. And it's a weird thing of, like, as an offensive lineman, Do you run after the money and have weaker components around you that makes you look good? Or do you take lesser money and have a perfect nucleus to where you can succeed and probably even go farther?
Well, most players these days want to take as much money as they can, but if you want to maintain a successful team, you might have to take a little bit less just to keep a team around. I mean, yeah, I know in their best interest you want to make as much money, but do you want to win championships or do you want to take more money and hold the team back?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we can talk about Hennessy, we can talk about Purdy, we can talk about McGlinchey. That's his right name, right? For right tackle?
You're talking about McKivitz, right?
McKivitz, there we go. Not McGlinchey, McKivitz.
Oh, yeah.
I still don't trust McKivitz long term. I know he signed him this season, but at the same time, it's something about him. I just don't feel comfortable going against the best top defensive ends in the NFL.
I mean, he's about as what you look for as a B-plus player. Like, he's just not elite by any means, but he does enough. You know, do you trust him in as a consistent starter? I don't think so. He'll have his ups and downs, but I think they like him so much to the point they trust him. But yeah, he kind of gives me a little bit of goosebumps at times. But I think this offensive line as a unit has been holding up pretty well.
Can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that. Now, 49er faithfuls, if you have any questions for CZ Ruthless, please drop them in the comments right now. And at the end of this, we will be answering those comments. Now, something that I always like talking about because it's a position that I always felt because I'm 6'6", 300 pounds right now. And when I watch the Pittsburgh Steelers, the tight end, I want to talk about George Kittle and Tangents. Why are we not doing more two tight end sets or bubbles with these two phenomenal tight ends? Tell me, CG, why do you think this is not happening?
I don't know. It's kind of crazy how Kyle doesn't get creative. Have you seen how the Rams have done the 13 personnel where they got a lot of their tight ends involved? Why can't we get Tongues involved a little more? And then you could kind of sprinkle in a little bit of Juszczyk more also. So it would be like scary in different ways. I mean, Tongues stepped in pretty well for Kittle at that point of the season. So he was a perfect example of a B-plus player that's done a lot more.
Absolutely. And for some reason, we did not challenge that touchdown, and Tom just had that touchdown.
That was a like touchdown. Toe tap right there.
We saw the black pallets popping up as he went through it, but we got the touchdown. But still, it would have been nice to have Tom just have that touchdown because it builds his confidence.
Yeah, it builds his trust for but I think when they saw that, they probably realized, oh, we should have just challenged it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. And more so, this whole thing with, I think it's a low ankle sprain on George Kittle. I believe he will be coming back for the next game, but it's unnecessary to have that type of an injury right now.
Yeah, I think the lower ankle injury, I don't know if he would, I don't think he would have to be in the passing game. Maybe as a blocking specialist, maybe that would be where they put him back in, or just play it smart. But I think beating Chicago is probably going to be more important than in a lot of ways, because that would put everything at stake. Because if we beat the Bears, which I'm pretty sure we're more than capable of doing that, we want to be able to play well against Seattle.
Absolutely. And for me, one of the last things not the last thing, but one of the bigger topics for this offense is it's not Christian McCaffrey. It's not Robinson Jr. Now it's about Brock Purdy. We saw Brock Purdy play the absolute best game of his career, in my opinion, because I always think Brock Purdy's going to throw away one interception. It's just, to me, it's his confidence to where he can't do nothing wrong, which I do like about them, because a lot of people say I'm a Brock Purdy hater. It's more so if I know that Brock Purdy has a resilience about him and he's a gunslinger.
And he's not afraid.
Absolutely. He's not afraid. But sometimes you have to find a way to play the role. And that's why I felt Mac Jones was better at playing the role and just surviving. Brock Purdy wants to throw that long ball for 5 touchdowns. He wants to do that every game.
And you saw how that went against the Colts, so it's kind of exactly what we need. In order for us to win that Super Bowl, we're going to have that offense like this.
Absolutely. So tell me, do you think Brock Purdy can sling for at least 3 touchdowns next game? Because I got Prize Picks, and I'm going to listen to you. Do you think Brock Purdy can throw 3 touchdowns against the Chicago Bears?
That Bears defense is pretty legit, bro. I would say, man, that's a tough one, man, because you're saying 3 touchdowns against that Bears defense. I would say probably 2 touchdowns in this matchup because I feel like the Bears are pretty solid in a lot of different ways, but you can get 2 touchdowns in this matchup. But as far as like McCaffrey, I think he's going to get a couple rushing touchdowns.
Ooh.
I just think that's what's going to happen because the Bears got a pretty good defense, bro. They've been able to keep it in check. If you don't have Kittle in that passing game, it changes a little bit on how we do in the red zone.
Completely. And here's the thing. When I think about the Chicago Bears versus the 49ers, I look at Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams is a gunslinger. He's a quarterback who really wants to push that ball down the field. And this season, in my opinion, he's been a top 4 quarterback in the NFL. He's been reliable. He's been dependable. And every single game, Caleb Williams is growing as a quarterback. And I see Caleb throwing 3 touchdowns this game. So I feel it will be a shootout game to where the only way we'll be able to keep up is for Brock Purdy to throw at least 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he would have to. He would have to, but I think it's going to be still good enough to win. I just think that Purdy's probably going to throw 2 at the max because this defense is pretty good. Then you got McCaffrey. He'll get you a rushing touchdown. Maybe Purdy will get a little sneaky touchdown for that Dougie dance. We'll see.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked everything about the offensive side of the ball. You ready to talk some defense?
Oh, yeah. I love defense, man.
Okay, here we go. Let's start with the secondary, and we'll go down to the D-line. When it comes to the secondary, who is your shining star of the secondary?
Shining star of the secondary. I got to say Lenore.
Okay, tell me why.
Because he's kind of taken the leadership role and he's played pretty solid. He's been a consistent player. He's deserved his contract, even though he has his moments. But I think he's kind of like the more important piece to this secondary, if I'm being honest.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I'll take that. I accept that. For me, it was going to have to be, honestly, Upton Stout. For a rookie to come in with no preseason at 5'8", weighing, 3 turkeys? He's been a dog. He likes to play physical football, and at that nickel position, has he had his bad moments? Absolutely. But for some reason, when the game is on the line, as we saw against the Indianapolis Colts, Phillip Rivers was trying to attack the rookie, which is a smart move. But Upton Stout did exactly what he was supposed to do and played phenomenal football.
Yeah. Like, Upton Stout is an unheralded player. Like, I think this is the guy that nobody thought of as, like, afterthought of the draft. They thought of him maybe as a 4th or 5th round grade, but this guy has turned out to be a really good type of player, a good slot corner, a guy who plays bigger than his size. I mean, yeah, you want to target that guy because he's a short slot corner, but you have better matchups with that man. But when you want to go his direction, sometimes you may pay the price a little bit. He might just deflect that ball or fight for that ball. He fights like he fights like a little kid just trying to get that ball or steal from a candy a little bit.
Absolutely. He got that dog in him. And that's what I like about him. Like, Upton Stout organically has that Napoleon complex dog. And I like that from him. I really do like that from him.
Same thing with Lenore. He just has that little mindset. He plays little mind games too.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the weaker links to this secondary, who would you say and why?
The weaker link to the secondary. Well, I may get a little flack for this one, but I'm gonna just say Jair Brown. Jair Brown has his moments, bro, but at times his coverage, bro, how the hell do you get beat deep, man, when you're responsible in your coverage, bro? I still think he needs to get better at those areas at times.
And here's the thing is, first it was going to be Green for me, but when you talk about Jair Brown, I think Brown gets lazy in his thoughts. And I think he gets too much in his heads because, yes, you can always say a good player is a player that makes a mistake but always bounce back and makes an even bigger play, which Brown does do. But at the same time, he's consistently making these bonehead mistakes in the secondary that causes touchdowns or causes a 15-yard penalty. And I think I don't think he'll be with us next season. I just don't see it. I don't see it unless he breaks out in the playoffs and against against the Bears and Seattle. I don't see how we keep Brown next year. I just don't see it.
No, next year he's on his final year of his rookie deal. So,
yeah, he's gonna be locked in with us. Hopefully. Now, linebackers. This is a place that I really want to kind of let you run with the ball, and I want you to tell me who is your shining light at linebacker.
The shining light at linebacker. I mean, even though he's not on the field, but I just feel like Fred Warner's presence does make a difference. But that's either here or then. As much as I want to bring him up, I feel like this man doesn't get enough respect. D. Winters, man, this man is a shiny bright light. This man made the pick six. This man gave you some of those highlight hits like you were watching Bowman or Greenlaw do. Number 53 is just he's had his moments, I'll admit, but he's gotten better.
Absolutely. And it's something about D. Winters. He's a quiet assassin. He's growing good confidence. And that's why I like to see from my linebackers. We all like the Navarro Bowmans. We all like the Patrick Willises, the Fred Warners that come into the league, and we know they're a superstar. But it's something about this linebacker, D. Winters, who's quiet and is an assassin. And he's growing. He really is growing in that position.
Yeah, he's grown from it. Like, coming out of college, he had speed, but he just didn't know how to finish tackle plays or completely. Like, there was times he missed tackles, but I think he's kind of worked at it as the season goes on. I mean, his coverage has gotten better. I mean, is he great at the best in coverage at times? Probably not. At times he does have issues, but I think he's been the shiny bright spot when it comes to stopping the run and making certain tackles out there.
Absolutely. And for me, I really expected more out of Nick Martin. But again, he's like Ricky P, just been injury prone for no reason. And we really don't understand why or what's going on, because he does have the mass to be out there on the field. But for some reason, he just can't stay healthy. Tell me, what do you think about Nick Martin and what's going on with him?
I think he's a guy that's still a work in progress. I think he's bringing a physical presence, which is good. But I think he still has to – he's just learning behind the vets. I don't think they feel he's ready right now. This is why we brought in Eric Kendricks for.
Absolutely. Now, do you think we'll see Eric Kendricks against the Bears?
I think from my understanding, they're integrating him a bit to play the strong side, but he got some significant time playing from Tatum Bethune's spot. Depending on Bethune's injury, I think he'll slowly become – this may be a crazy take, but I think he'll slowly become our starter when it comes to playoffs.
Okay.
Experience veteran-wise, bro, you would be – I mean, it would be nuts just to let somebody like – I like Bethune, but there's just times he has to be consistent, and we've seen it with Kendricks over the years. You need a guy who doesn't make mistakes and makes plays.
Absolutely. Now, the real meat and potatoes of the defense, it will forever be, in my opinion, the D-line. Now, your shining light, your brightest star for this D-line this season, who is it?
Man, it sounds crazy, man, but I like the position because it has a special place in my heart because I played it, and I played O-line also. But yeah, it's like, does it have to be anybody in general, or just an unheralded player? I feel like it's really not getting enough recognition.
Either or, your choice.
Man, dude, okay. I think this guy has come a long ways. Like, Clelin Ferrell, to me, is the most underrated pickup. Like, I feel like this man he came into the league as a top pick for the Raiders. And he comes in this situation knowing this may be his last snap to play in the NFL. He plays it like it's his last now. Can you imagine that? Now he's already like topped the season best in sacks so far. So this guy's playing with something. So he's playing for another contract, bro. So I like that about a player.
Wow. I can honestly say I was not expecting you to pick Ferrell, Mr. Ferrell. Wow. Speaking of Ferrell, so he still has me blocked on Instagram because I was honest with him. And he blocked me when he was a Raider. He blocked me because he was kind of showboating about how he got drafted. And it was almost 9 games into this season, and he had no sacks, and he had like 5 tackles. And I totally just went in on him, and he blocked me. And since he's been at 9, I was hoping that he was going to unblock me, but he hasn't yet. But I can agree with you. Farrell is stepping up, and Farrell is playing with a different type of a mindset. I think he's one of those players that had to grow up, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
And he's acting like a man ready for a new contract. And that's what you love to have on your defensive line is him. Now, for me, my shining star this season, in my opinion, has to be Alfred Collins.
Ooh, Alfred Collins, man.
Alfred Collins was literally in the doghouse through preseason, through everything. I thought he was going to be a star when we first drafted him. And then we saw the kind of the bumps in the roads and the speeding blocks that he had to come through. But he has shown me why he was a great pick, because he brings his lunch pail, and he's not going to get those sacks all the time, which he got a 4 sack yesterday, but he's consistent. And I love a defensive lineman, a trench dog that can be consistent. Tell me what you like about Alfred Collins.
Dude, Alfred Collins is your typical defensive tackle that you want. You want this size. You want that 6'6", 320 or 30-pound man, bro, that just eats up for lunch, bro. He doesn't make sacks, because when I was watching a lot of college football, I'm an OU fan, so I've seen what he's done in college. He doesn't give you the production of a top elite D tackles do, bro. I knew his expectations. And you kind of like saying you were expecting more, bro, when you are pretty much in a situation where he had to wait until he got his contract signed, bro. Of course, that's going to take time for him to process. So I wasn't quite concerned about the guy. I was just saying, man, that's just one of those situations. Let it play out itself. I felt like he was going to be a bright spot at some point. I was pretty high on CJ West, but I feel like Alfred Collins has made significant strides. That sack on Phillip Rivers was like he was trying to hug his grandpa just for that ball. I don't know if you saw that play where he was trying to hug him.
Absolutely.
He was like saying, "Hey, give me that football, grandpa." No, but if you see that play, he's trying to hug him, then he's trying to turn him the other way so they can recover the ball.
Absolutely. And I'm going to say this, the player that has been also consistent, but he has been injury, so I got to still give him love. I have to give it to Huff. What a pickup by the San Francisco 49ers. For a bag of peanuts, we got Huff, who's really also been a little injury knick-knack paddywhack, but he's still been able to be there when we needed him the most.
Yeah, he's kind of like stepped in a big role than usual, because he was coming off the Eagles where they won a Super Bowl that year, and he just wasn't the guy they were hoping for. Saul knew him pretty well. I mean, there's different guys we can bring up also, but I feel like CJ West is making significant strides.
Absolutely.
Dude, getting double block and still getting Phillip Rivers, bro. I don't know what it is, bro.
I think for when it comes to CJ West, and this is because I've heard some personal things, so I'll say it right here for y'all. CJ West needs to stay out of Ruth Chris and Maestros. That's my only concern about CJ West, is that CJ is going to eat himself out the league. CJ, stay out of the Ruth Chris and all the steak houses. You have more than
he can't help it, man.
Listen. He has all the money that he needs. Get you a chef, a personal chef. Have them cook you steaks at home. Stop bringing your ass and your homeboys to Ruth Chris and Maestros. It makes no sense. Get out of there. Get the hell out of there. Stop eating the mashed potatoes and the lobster. Stop it. It's going to kill you. That's all I got to say about it.
That's a proper advice. But see, I do have a spot for some of those big boys, bro, because I'm one of them too. So, but we didn't even bring up the offensive line trenches, bro. Like, I can bring up a shiny spot. Like you said, Burford was one of them, but I wanted to bring up a guy that I think is on my shit list, and I still have him on my list because he blocked me to this day, and he still is probably one of the most overrated offensive linemen we have on our team.
Ooh.
Jake Brendel, number 64, still has me blocked to this day. I've pretty much made that guy block me not once but twice in different platforms. I called his blocking. I question his coaching. I even asked him, did Chris Forrester give you a job because you actually sucked up to this guy? Dude,
Wow.
did I ever tell you that story? How I got him to block me? All I showed was I asked him a clip. What was that block play? What was this for? And I guess I was automatically blocked from the guy. Dude, everybody told me that was his best block of the season, was blocking me on there. Yeah, Ginger Brendo.
So right now, I am 2-0 with 49er players. Right now, I got Deebo Samuels who blocked me, and I have Pharrell. What's his name? The DN, Farrell. Those are the two players that blocked me. Those are the only two that blocked me.
Okay, well, the one who blocked me recently, probably like months ago, was Tabor Pepper. I called his ass out. I told him, hey, what happened with, hey, are you still going to do the same thing what you did last time? And I say, hey, Debo wants his apology back. You know who else blocked me? You want to know who else blocked me also that was interesting? Was CJ Gardner-Johnson when I called his ass out on Debo.
Oh, wow.
He was on the Lions. Remember, he was on the Lions before he went back to the Eagles? That dude, he still blocked me to this day.
I can tell you, being someone that covers football, it's always funny that the individuals that block you, because it lets you know that they're in the chats and they're reading everything. They're seeing everything consistently. And if you want to get Farrell to unblock me, please drop in his comments and say, please unblock Filmo Trev. It would be nice to have an actual conversation with him. It would be nice to have that conversation.
And if you want to make Mr. Brindle to unblock me, maybe I can have a conversation one-on-one with him. Maybe I can be friendly for him for once. Maybe I can try to talk some sense out of him. Maybe I can apologize for being hard on the guy.
Here's the thing. I stay away from Jake Brindle or speaking about him because he's an older lineman, and I don't.
Hey, he's on your intro. He's on the intro, Rocking to Vegas. That's the guy.
He's there.
You might need to update your intro with him, bro. That's not a good. That's a bad voodoo right there.
That probably is some bad voodoo. That probably is because. He's just, I don't know the words for Jake Brindle. I just don't have the words to really evaluate him properly where it doesn't come off as hate. So I stay away from him. Now, one of the individuals that we haven't talked about yet, and I think we're going to spend about 3 minutes talking about him. So, faithful. Matter of fact, individuals on TikTok, thank you so much for the love on TikTok. I appreciate y'all. Y'all give me a whole bunch of hearts and making shit pop up on my face. I appreciate y'all. Now, if you guys are new to following me or CG Ruthless, please smash that follow button right now. Show the love. Let us know that you guys want this show to be more consistent of him and I talking and, breaking down the 49er faithful. Let us know. We got to know.
Yeah, we can come up with something on a weekly basis. We can call it the Faithful and Ruthless Talk. We gave you the truth, man, and nothing but the truth.
Absolutely. So here we go. Let's break this down real quick. Let's talk about Kyle Shanahan. Now, tell me why you think he does not deserve Coach of the Year award.
The only thing people will always bring up with Kyle Shanahan is winning the big one. I don't see no other reason why he doesn't deserve it, bro. It's just hard for me to convince otherwise. Like, what are the other coaches have done with this amount of talent that Kyle has done? Like, that would pretty much be his only downfall is pretty much he hasn't won a Super Bowl. Maybe that's why he shouldn't be getting the award because we care about winning the Super Bowls. But when you look at what Kyle has done this season, it's kind of undeniable to even say he doesn't deserve it, bro. It's just hard. Like, can you tell me a guy who could win with that amount of talent? Like, with injuries aside, bro, we don't have Bosa or Warner or some of the guys, and Kyle got the best out of these players. But I just it's really like you're putting me in a spot, and it's really hard for me to say it. But it's like, what has he done that doesn't make him deserve it, bro? That's just mind blowing, bro. It's like I can't think of one.
For myself, I can honestly say if Kyle Shanahan does not get Coach of the Year, It's because they're holding Kyle to a different standard because of his father. And that's the truth. They're holding him to a different standard because of his father. And Kyle's egotistical. He's arrogant. He wants to do it his way on his terms. And I can honestly say he does deserve to get Coach of the Year this year because of all the adversity he's gone through this season. My God, you lose your top linebacker, you lose your top defensive end, you lose your quarterback, you lost everything, and you still managed to keep it all together and keep it above 500. And now you find yourself battling for the number 1 seed. How do you not give it to that man? It's because you want him to be better than his father, and his father was great, but he's doing it differently than what his dad did it.
Exactly. But I think it's hard to like say he doesn't deserve it, bro. Like there's just like, can you think of a flaw? I mean, he's not responsible for the defense, or else I would say that's what he had to work on. But dude, he got solid taking care of that issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, the next thing, and this is a tough one for me. Robert Saleh. Does he stay? Does he go?
Depending on the circumstances of where the opportunity presents, because if he's going to go to a similar situation like he did with the Jets, I don't think he takes another job until maybe he waits it out next year.
And see, for me, I got to say that Robert Saleh is like Phillip Rivers. He has like 12 kids, right? He has hella kids. I think when you are a father who has children, you start to think about where they're being raised. Now, I might be Bay Area biased, but I feel what better place to raise your family than in the Bay Area, in Santa Clara, and being able to really pin a consistent deal as the defensive coordinator and build something with Kyle, with Jed York, with John Lynch that really stamps your name. And then after 5 years, when your kids are older, if they've graduated, they're in high school, then you move on and you take the perfect ideal head coaching job, because truth be told, in my opinion, I really can see him being the head coach of the Giants.
Yeah, with the circumstances, I can see it as a possible fit because they do got the quarterback. They just need to build around him. They got a defense that they can fix, but I think the only downside is the front office. I don't think he wants to deal with the same issues.
Absolutely. And that's another big part of it. You got to go somewhere where the ownership believes in you and is willing to spend that motherfucking money.
Yeah, and let him build the way he wants to build it, or else I don't see no point. Like, for it to be an intriguing job, I just don't think Tennessee would be a job he should even take, bro. It's still a lot of building blocks to go. Maybe not. Cam Ward can be a legitimate quarterback if developed the right way, but even then, he still has to fix a lot of stuff. So it's like I'm just thinking, don't take the Raiders job, because I think Carroll's already getting fired, from my understanding. So if he should not be taking that job, bro. That job it's got Jets written all over again. I think a team like you said, I think what would be the most intriguing job is it depends on the circumstance. It depends on a surprise fire. Maybe the Atlanta Falcons might be a perfect fit because he can still build a defense, and the quarterback he can just go with those guys. But Giants would be your ideal unless the front office is going to let him build the way he wants.
I like Baltimore.
Baltimore would probably be the best one, but I think John Harbaugh is good for another year. That's the thing.
In my opinion, I think Lamar needs to leave Baltimore.
Yeah, I just think John Harbaugh's coaching is starting to get a little outdated now.
Absolutely. And here's the thing that I don't want to see happen, but I could see it happening for multiple reasons. And please, Faithful, drop in the comments. Let me know, what do you think of this take? I think Lamar has an opportunity to go to Oakland.
Probably with the circumstances and part of the money wise, but I don't think Baltimore would be doing that. I don't know.
I think for the right picks, I could see Lamar getting traded to the Raiders.
Yeah, but the problem is, what are the Raiders known for? For ruining quarterbacks' careers regardless. I mean,
and that's the thing. Like, I think Lamar might be. Does he actually want a Super Bowl ring? He's been Allen. He's been going against Allen. I don't think he wants the ring anymore. I think it's about getting the $600 million and before he retires. I think he might.
Well, get all the money and suck in Las Vegas. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I can't lose. I'll just keep losing, but I'll keep winning in life.
There's good big titty women in Vegas.
Oh my God! You don't go there, but yeah, you can't go. Oh, you know it's even better. Go down Phoenix too, man. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with them hoes over there.
Can't go wrong. Yo, you know what? Hey, 49 faithful. Yo, CG, this was incredible. I gotta say thank you so much for tuning in with me. This was we have to. I have to reach out to you more. We have to do this more often. We really do.
Yeah, just give me a call, give me a schedule that works, and I can see what I can do, man. But if it's on this day specifically, that's even better.
Awesome. So any final words that you would like to say, my friend? The floor is yours.
Anything, man. Philmo Trev, man, you've been grinding, bro. I'm happy for your success, man. You've been doing your thing, bro. For everybody else, man, for those people who subscribe to this man is preaching the way you should preach as a Niner content creator or a person in general. This guy has great music taste and he makes good music.
You gotta talk about the music.
Yeah, I'm a 49er. I'm gonna run and go. I put that shit on my head. Because you.
Oh my God.
Maybe I need to ask permission if I can use your intro music as a way so I don't get called for copyright and stuff like that.
Yo, you have my permission to use my song to add it to anything out there. It's more, listen, I made it for the faithful, by the faithful. So if you want to use it, you're more than welcome to use it. And I will definitely sign off on anything for copyrights. It's all yours, my friend. It's all yours. Do what you wish for it. It's for us.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting the intro. I just don't want to be like caught in with something because they always do this little copyright stuff and then you get called out for this stuff.
Yeah, so what you have to do is you have to send them it's a weird thing with YouTube. You have to send them a letter and then they'll send me a letter and then I approve the letter. It's weird because I have it all copywritten directly. So anytime somebody snips it, clips it, I get like 2 pennies for it, which adds up after a year. It really does add up, but I will make sure that I will sign my rights so you can clip it, use it as much as you want to, make money off of it. Bro, it's for us. I literally made that song for all 49ers.
That's what it's for. Yeah, but you know how it is, man. That's why I don't want to be caught up with stuff because I've been criticized for stealing content according to some people.
No, well, you haven't stolen none of my content. You can use my content. Go crazy, brother. Go crazy.
No, but I've been accused of stealing content is what I've been saying, man. I'd be like, nah, I don't steal it, bro. I make my content or I do things differently or I at least try to like ask before I even do it.
You know what? And I've learned this in really this year for doing football content. Not everybody understands how the content market works. And they're so money hungry to collect value, money. They don't realize that when you post them, that's still more eyes on them.
Yeah.
They don't get that. They don't get that reality of it. They're just always like, oh, I need my money. Bro, just put out good content and let the world select and let people choose who they want to follow. It's that simple.
Yeah, you just got to put the work in it and it'll come by itself. Whatever happens, I mean, you just can't complain about it. It's competition. So
absolutely. Well, hey, CG Ruthless, a pleasure talking to you with my brother, the Faithful Talk. I am out of here. I'm ready to get some food and enjoy my day. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Peace, everybody.
Peace.